Hey there, it's Mike Russell here from musicradiocreative.com. Very, very excited to be live once again with another 1 hour session coming to you live from the studios on the Isle of Wight in the United Kingdom. Hello to you if you're watching on YouTube live right now at youtube.com/musicradiocreative. Hello if you're watching at facebook.com/musicradiocreative. On Periscope, we're there. We're also streaming on Twitch. You can catch us all over the place. Peter Young's in from Cornwall, Wolfric Productions. Hey, how's everyone doing? I'm doing great today, Wolfric Productions. I'm Tom Hall. Hey there. Danny is in as well. So if you're watching right now, just let me know in the chat. Type away if you're in on the live stream. Who are you and where are you in the world? Your country and your city, please. And if you'd like to be precise with your geography, you can go as niche as the county or the town or even the street you live on, whatever you'd like to do. PSS Santush is there. Namaste to you in India right now. Good to have you viewing the live stream. So what are we going to do in this session? We are going to play about with a little bit more than Adobe Audition. Yes, there'll be a huge chunk of Adobe Audition in this session, but we're also going to dive into Premiere Pro and After Effects. I am going to show you exactly how to create a kick-ass intro, and you can use it as an outro or you can modify it to use as an outro for your YouTube live streams. So if you're watching this live stream now and you're thinking, hey, that's really cool, you know, I fancy doing my own show, and I'll tell you what, since I've started doing the show, I am loving it every day getting on here and doing this. But I'll tell you, an intro and an outro really takes the pressure off. But because before I was just kind of fumbling about putting everything live. You'll know if you've rewound and you've watched the replays of the first streams I didn't have a countdown counting me in or out. Just go and look at the old ones. I just pushed start and I'd be like, "Oh, we're live. Is it on? Hello? Yeah. Okay, cool." And it's all a bit disturbing. That's why you need an intro if you're going to do this live thing online, because you can kind of chill out a little bit, start everything. And in the past, because I like to stream on Periscope, look, I'm streaming with a slight delay, but I am streaming right now on Periscope right there. And I used to, in the past, sort of put it live on Periscope as I was talking to you at the start of the show, which isn't really the best viewer experience, is it? So now with the countdown, I can just nicely start Periscope streaming before we go live. Anyway, that's why I use an intro and why I think you should use an intro. Do a few more of your shout outs in just a moment. Do make sure to get your name and your location. Where are you watching us from in the world today? And I'll be happy to shout you out. Do a few more of your shout outs in just a moment. There's me. There's me coming back. A little bit of feedback there. So get them in. And any super chats, very, very, very appreciated at youtube.com/musicradiocreative. You do help to support the live show by super chatting. Even just the lowest money amount is extremely appreciated. And as usual in the show, at 15 minutes in, 30 minutes in, and 45 minutes in, I'll pay special attention to the live chats. If you do a super chat, I will mention you straight away. And I may even dedicate a large amount of time to answering a question you may have, for instance, that kind of thing. Okay. Finally, a little bit of housekeeping. It is up over here. The Adobe Audition presets. I did a whole hour on Monday's live stream this week talking about my template that I use to make audio in Adobe Audition. I use it every single day at Music Radio Creative, stacked up with vocal effects, music, auto ducking, sound effects, all that stuff you can do that is really advanced in Adobe Audition but takes a while to set up. So I went through, set it all up in that session, demonstrated it, and they are available right now with bonuses included, but only until the 10th of July 2017. So if you're listening to the replay at mrc.fm/podcast, it's your final few days, I think 4 days left to grab the Adobe Audition presets before the price goes up. This is the launch week. The price will go up on Monday, and also the bonuses will disappear. So now is the time to get yourself my Adobe Audition cc.sesx file with all my presets included. I also throw in 12 video tutorials showing you how all those presets work. And the bonuses include 7 sample voiceovers from MRC to use, 5 sample sound effects, a sample music bed, and an extra bonus video tutorial at the end. lucky or unlucky number 13, but I show you how to level out your audio, because I know actually just earlier on I had an email from Rick. Nice to hear from you, Rick in Canada, having a little issue asking about levels himself. So that video should help. That's all available until July 10, 2017. mrc.fm/presets is the address to go to. mrc.fm/presets. Isabella Russell is in the chat. She's my wife and also co-founder here at Music Radio Creative, and she will, I'm sure, post the link there in the comments. So let's give a few more shout outs here. We got Andre in, Jan Willem in as well, Benedict from Hungary. Now I'm going to mess this one up. Kekshkemet in Hungary. Lovely. Nico is in from Germany. Guten Tag to you. We've got Don LeBlanc in, 4th day in a row. Hey, it's good to have you in as a habit, Don. I like that. Danielle is watching from Civil Radio, also in Hungary, in Europe, here in Europe, which is lovely. Italy in the house. We've got Rovigo55, Creeps Channel, grabbing a coffee and getting ready for the session. David is here saying, good habit, Don. Hey, David, it's nice to have you in as well. Michael Duffy from Warwick in Rhode Island, USA. We've got Leonardo in Brazil. We've got Pranshu from India. We've got Score More from the United States. Mohammed is in. Where are you from, Mohammed? I see you writing in Arabic. Where are you watching from now? We've got Mark Thomas. I'm doing very well. Thank you very much. Takishan, hello to you. I see Isabella has posted the link, but Isabella, you need to put https:// and then you'll turn it into a link in the live chat. Just a heads up there. If you post it without the https:// you have to copy paste. So you can do that again if you'd be so kind. Cato Bell, sorry I'm late. Giving a cinema on multiple personalities, and it takes me forever to fill out the name tags. Cato, you always make me smile with your comedy introductions in the live chat. Dance FM Live's in from Blackpool, the Las Vegas of the United Kingdom. Mark's over in Portsmouth. Yeah, excellent. Some nice shout outs. Let's get into Facebook Live. John Borham's there in Tasmania. Nathan in Darwin, Australia. It's fantastic to have you watching over on YouTube Live right now. Okay, let's hop in to all of these different programs that I've got loaded up. Your chat, by the way, will stay up here. This is Adobe After Effects, as you can see right here. We're going to have a play in this, maybe first and foremost. Then we will be hopping over into Premiere Pro. Premiere Pro is where I stitched it all together. And as you can see right now, I've got my template all loaded behind me there with the audio track, and then just above that is a blank track. But then I've got all the clips. They are just there that I cut together in the countdown and other stuff. And I'll be showing you how you can dive between Adobe Premiere Pro and Adobe Audition if you want to tighten up and compress audio and make it sound good. And of course, we'll be in on our old favorite, Adobe Audition. All of these, by the way, come as part of the Adobe Creative Cloud if you subscribe monthly. So yeah, I'm going to be playing in Adobe Audition CC to make the audio. Let me show you, though, first of all, in After Effects, how you would create a simple countdown. Now, I'll just do a little preface to this part of the tutorial. I am a relative Adobe After Effects newbie. Obviously, I use Adobe Audition every day, know it inside out. Premiere Pro, I'm getting pretty confident with, but After Effects, I am still learning, so I'm by no means an authority. I do know how to do basic things, and I've got another tutorial coming next week on how to make sound waves in After Effects. But basic things, definitely I can do, and I can show you how to get started in After Effects. I always used to find this the most daunting of the Creative Cloud, but once you realize the power of After Effects to do motion graphics and animations, it truly is a superb piece of kit. So we've got this blank screen right now, an Untitled project. I would first of all create a new composition, and I'll call it, let's call it Countdown, like so. Then you just get a blank screen. Oh, by the way, when you create your new composition, you can choose whether you want to use a preset. So at the moment, I've got HDTV 1080p 25, which is 25 frames per second. You can go up to 4K. You can choose all these other presets. And generally, what you'll want is HDTV, either 25, or we could put it up to 30 frames a second. That might be a little better. Width 1920 by 1080, so that's 1080p, of course. Let's do that. Right, we got that there. Next, we'll create a few layers. So layer new, and I'm going to put a solid, dark grey solid in the background, like so. And then I'm going to go over and head to the effect menu. Kind of like effects in Adobe Audition, After Effects has a load of wonderful stuff that you can throw on the screen here. And we want to be looking at text and numbers here. If you just click text and numbers, you can choose a font. I quite like, let's see if I can find it, Work Sans. Work Sans is the corporate font of Music Radio Creative. So I thought I'd go for Work Sans because it's kind of, you know, you do whatever works for you. If you're creating this maybe for a YouTube live stream for your business or your brand, hopefully you've got a brand guidelines document that will tell you what font you need to use. Work Sans it is for me, and I'll go for Work Sans bold. And then, yeah, you can have it horizontal or vertical, align it left or right. I'll align it center and click OK. There we go. Right, we get a lovely number at the moment, but as you can see, hang on, let me see if I can make that just a little bit bigger for you. At the moment, it's just 0.000, which is not very helpful. And if I scrub across in After Effects, you'll see it doesn't move at all, which is not really what we want. It's just a static number at the moment. So what you do is go over to the numbers effects or effect that you have just created in After Effects, and then you hop down and you choose one of these time codes. So I think I went for 30 frames per second, so time code 30 would be right for me. Aha! That's looking a little more like a timer. Oh, but it's counting up, you see? It's counting up. And by the way, my composition is 8 seconds in duration. What I could do is hop in here and just make it to be 60 seconds. There we go. That's a bit longer. And then hopefully then if we zoom out like that and stretch this like so, now we should have a count up, not a count down, but a count up of 60 seconds. Or 1 minute, if you like. So I want that to count backwards, obviously. That's very important. Because you don't want to count up to 1 minute when you're about to go live on YouTube. That wouldn't really make sense, would it? So what I'm going to do is right-click here on the dark grey solid layer that I just made. Obviously, if I want, I can... what am I doing? Sorry. I don't want to click in there. I'm going to go back. Oh, I've lost everything. What did I do? Oh dear. I just closed it down. Okay, let me just quickly pop that back in again. Pop in the solid, pop in the effect. We went to text and numbers. And I went for Work Sans, didn't I? Work Sans bold. And then okay. Right, okay. So here it is. So yes, we managed to make this rather a little bit bigger, and then we made it into timecode 30, so it's a countdown, and let's just move this along a little bit, like that. Okay, fantastic. And so yeah, as you can see, it's counting up, and obviously I'll go to the composition again and make that 60 seconds. Repetition is good when you're trying to learn something, so I don't really mind that I had to do those steps again. So that's how you do the count up. So yes, to count down, right click, and then you want to go to time, and then you want to just time reverse the layer like that. And now you'll see, if I play this back, it's counting down from a minute. But the only problem is we have got milliseconds there. Yeah, Dance FM Live has got a good comment there. Control or Command Z is a wonderful thing to be able to do in After Effects. Now, what I could do is I could then go in and add another layer, another, let's say solid layer, just for the sake of argument for this example, and pull that into the background there. And then we start to get something that looks very nicely like a countdown. Obviously, we can make tweaks, like we can change it to whatever our corporate color is, maybe the MRC blue, something like that. And yeah, we can what we can do if we want to put in masking layers, what we'd need to do is actually pre-compose this. move all the attributes to a new composition, and then we should be able to do little masking layers. So we could do like a masking layer. Hang on. Command Z, yes, undo is good. So you can do a masking layer like that, and you can start to get the countdown there. I would need to align, either right or left align, I think, my countdown, so it's not dancing around like that. But you get the basic idea there of how you can create a countdown using the effect, text, numbers option there, and then you can right-click and you can time and then time reverse the layer to get it to count down. And then, of course, I went in and I pre-composed that track. You need to do that, otherwise it doesn't allow you to mask the countdown for some reason. So you need to pre-compose, and when you've done that in After Effects, then you can hit Q. The Q hotkey brings up the masking tool here, and then you can just, masking is like masking in or masking out, whatever you want to do with After Effects. But there we go. It is now 2:15 in the United Kingdom, and I do say every 15 minutes I get to the chat, so get your chats coming in now if you have a question or a thought. After I go in and just shout out a few chats, I am going to move on to the next step. I just wanted to show you very briefly how you would get started creating a countdown in After Effects. Obviously, there are more fancy ways you can do it and exciting ways, but at least you know if you've got full subscription to Adobe Creative Cloud, and at the moment all you're using is Audition CC, please go and fire up After Effects and try this out for yourself. And then as you start to get to the point where you want to do more, or make it a little more fancy, go over and start learning on YouTube, as I do, and discover all of these great effects. So yeah, who have we got here in the house here at Music Radio Creative YouTube channel? We have got Mohammed says he's in Egypt. From Egypt, but in Dubai right now. Good to see you. Diego, hi from Belgium. Jerry saying hello, bro. Hi, bro. What's up? I'm doing very well indeed. Danny's in from Lebanon right now. We've also got Jordan in from Brunswick in Canada. That's nice. Sorry, I don't know how to say your name, but this is a comment saying, I want to seize the opportunity to tell you I love you so much. You're awfully, awfully kind. Thank you very much. Thank you, Jerry, as well. Laurie is asking about an email to Isabella. So Isabella's in the house there. She's the moderator. She's got a spanner next to her name. If you're over at youtube.com/musicradiocreative, you can see her in there. Runnermeister, there are the most useful tutorials on the internet. Oh, sorry, these are the most. Well, thank you. Thank you. That's very kind of you to say that. Could I back engineer something I've already made? It would give an idea what all the layers and functions do for your viewers. Hey, let me write that down, because that's a really good idea, Cato. And what I'm going to do, actually, I can back engineer Premiere Pro when we hop into that. What I'll do is I'll hop into Premiere Pro for the next half hour or so, maybe a little bit less, because that's where a large chunk of the time is. Then I can show you what I've done, and then maybe the last 15 or 20 minutes we can hop over to Adobe Audition, and then I can start kind of making up the music and the audio from scratch as I did for this composition. If we have time. I'm sure we will, though, if we get through this. But actually, Cato, you've given me an idea just by saying that. I made a trailer for my YouTube channel just yesterday. I published it, and I'd like to back engineer that for you. If you think that would be handy, let me know in the comments. I can back engineer the trailer I made. It's the one, I don't know if you might not have seen it. It's on my YouTube channel. It just went live last night, and I did all kinds of silly voices on it. So I've got the template for that. So YouTube trailers. Maybe that could be a new show coming up soon on the live stream, because I need lots to talk about. Doing a daily Monday to Friday live show at 2 p.m. UK time, and a lot to talk about. So feel free to post in the comments anything you'd like me to cover. Definitely need your ideas. Ez Nuri says, hello, Mike. Got a question. What do you think about 3D text intros? Yeah, I think they're good if they're done well. I think they're really good. And I do a bit of stuff like that. Although by 3D, do you mean the old style 3D moving around angled text. I'm not sure, that feels a little old-fashioned to me. That feels a little bit like word art in Microsoft Word in the 90s. I prefer, as you can see up there, flat text and flat stuff on the screen, and doing clever kind of glow effects and things like that, and sparkle effects. I think that's very, very modern, in my opinion. Benedict Fordor, will you animate the countdown in any way? Well, as you can see, Benedict, in this... Oh, hang on, let me just... that audio might become distracting, so I'll mute that. In this one, this actually... this is how the countdown looks here. And anyone who's been in on the live stream before I've actually gone live will have noticed this countdown. Now, actually, for this countdown, I did actually buy a pre-rendered countdown, and you can get them from all over the place. There are various places online if you search for After Effects templates and stuff like that. If you're not like 100% confident with After Effects, there are some real wizards out there who can provide you with what you need. So yeah, I got this nice sort of morphing countdown template, and then I stuck it into Premiere Pro, and I'll show you how I've layered that up in just a moment. So great question. Joyce Ian, Dime a dozen, the 3D text intro, make something new, no text intro. Not sure what you mean by that, but yeah, give me an alternative. I'd love to know that. Isabella has got the spanner, so do be careful what you say in the comments. Hi from Digital Earth, nice to see you there. Good, so that's great. And over on Facebook Live as well, do feel free to keep the comments coming in there. It's lovely to have you watching on Facebook. So let's break this apart. What have we got? This is the countdown here, and as you hear, this is the audio I put in, and I'll show you where this audio comes from in a second in Audition. So that's my kind of ambient drone, if you like. And it's something that I just looped around and around and around. And I figured what I needed, this at the moment, this is a 5-minute countdown, but I made one that goes up to 30 minutes. Because I figured going live, I need about 30 minutes to get myself ready and get myself started. So that's kind of what I've done. And then in OBS, 30 minutes before the stream goes live, I will start that video playing, and then I can see a big countdown above my head, so I know that I've got 30, and it puts the pressure on. So that's the drone in there. But also I have layered up these two layers here, so let me turn these video layers invisible. So that is the basic countdown, which I rendered out as an MP4 file, and I placed in the middle of the video here in Premiere Pro. So that's the original countdown. And then I've created, this is a text layer going live in, so I can actually change this. If I click onto that text layer here, I can change anything I want here by clicking, well, first of all, the text, the type tool, or hitting the T as a hotkey, and then I can change that. Do it all in caps like that. We'll be live in, and then I'll need to move that using the selection tool. I can just move that into the middle and change the text. To create a text layer in Premiere Pro is really, really easy. You just do Command T. Command T is the shortcut. It pops a new text layer up. So you can put the text layer there, and then text, and highlight all of that, get ready kind of thing. So text layers, and I think that these are relatively new text layers in Premiere Pro, Premiere Pro CC, because I remember they used to be known as title layers. And instead of getting text, lovely text that you can move around on the screen like this, they used to be title layers, and you used to get a separate pop-up window with kind of word art, 3D text looking presets as well in, but you had to move around in a separate window to see what was happening in the actual video. And it was, I'm so glad they've changed this, because it's much more intuitive to just drag text around inside your video. So placing text in a video is an absolute cinch inside Premiere Pro. I love it. And you've got all of these options over here. So obviously I've got my Work Sans font. I can change the size if I want. I can change the fill, so I can change it to a different color here. Obviously that one wouldn't be too good because it's a bit too blends in with the background, but I could do something like that. Make it a bit brighter. So you can change the colors. You can drop a shadow if you like as well to make it pop out. If that's your thing, dropping shadow is a really, really easy thing to do. Now I've dropped shadow on that and that. So yeah, you can do all that kind of stuff. That's all possible. And you can then obviously, if I toggle this one to be visible, this is the Music Radio Creative logo, and this is just a PNG file that I've popped in and positioned. You can make it so that it's, you know, bigger or smaller, but I wanted obviously the logo to show up there, and there is your countdown now. So easy to do. Logo there, text there, nice rendered countdown from Adobe After Effects, and you are laughing. That is how you get it all going on. We'll get to the comments again in just a moment. I see lots of good stuff coming in. So youtube.com/musicradiocreative, also on Facebook Live, on Periscope, and on Twitch too. It's lovely to have you here. Okay, so this kind of rumbles on now until about 1 minute. And then we get a nice introduction there with the music bed that I just mixed about with the stems there, because originally the music bed was 30 seconds. So I just took the stems and I extended it. And when we get into the audition part of this tutorial, I will show you how I played about with those stems to create a kind of remix of one of our jingles. But yeah, just to show you what's happening here. So we got the text layers here, we've got the logo here, we've got the countdown here, and the audio track is running here on A2. A1 is actually not needed because it's the audio track from my countdown render out of After Effects. It's just a blank audio track. What I can do, if you select the countdown track and hit delete, it's going to delete both countdown and audio track. So we don't want that. If you want to get rid of the audio track, any audio track you don't need inside Premiere Pro, you can just right click and then unlink here. And then when you unlink, now you'll see the video track is highlighted. And then if I click here, only the audio track, delete, boom. Didn't need that track. And then I can move this up to A1 and have it where it should be really. So here, when we do that little change over to 0, I've been very precise here to do a couple of cross dissolves, and a cross dissolve will just fade into the next thing, which is this big circular countdown. So the circle, like the circle of the Music Radio Creative logo, and then inside it numbers counting down. So again, this is something that I've rendered out of After Effects, and I've cross-dissolved out of this countdown and into this countdown. So watch this cross-dissolve in slow motion here. As you can see, it's just slowly changing like that, and then we're into that countdown there. So that's what we wanted. And I've tried to be as precise as possible to put cross dissolves in. Really, really super simple to do. By the way, thanks for all your comments. In 3 minutes, I'm getting back to them and I'm shouting out anybody who's commenting on the live stream right now. If I delete this cross dissolve here and this cross dissolve here, you'll see it doesn't look very slick anymore. You see? I mean, that might be okay, but I just fancied a nice fade. To add those cross dissolves in, quickest way, Command D or Control D. So Control D, Command D will allow you to add in your cross dissolves like so. And then, yeah, you can get 2 cross dissolves, one on there, fade them together, and you get a nice fade. And that's what I wanted, a nice fade from my previous countdown here into this 60-second emergency, we're going live very soon kind of thing. And what you'll notice here is this is actually something that I've rendered out of After Effects with a transparent layer. So I kind of made the opacity, I think, about 50%. And then underneath this countdown, you know, if you've seen the countdown to one of my live streams before, you'll know that a load of different things come in, like a booming speaker, someone twiddling knobs, someone playing with an iPad app, musical notes banging everywhere, more twiddling of knobs, Adobe Audition with a waveform over it. So all of this was done in the background on this V2 track, underneath V5, which is, like I say, the countdown with opacity 50%. And the thing to remember when you're rendering out of somewhere like After Effects, I can show you this. Let me get rid of that mask for a second and hang on, let me undo all of those masks and let me mask this. Oh, that's a nice circle, isn't it? So what I do, if I want to render with opacity retained, you know, like when you're rendering out things from After Effects, like for instance, a lower third. A lower third like that, there, yeah. So that's a lower third, and sorry for the viewers, if you're listening on demand, by the way, sorry, you won't have seen that. You have to watch the replay on YouTube. But yeah, that lower third was rendered out of After Effects using what's called alpha, and alpha is like a transparent channel. So say I didn't have anything in the background here. You see these squares mean that your background is transparent, or I could keep this effect in here, and I could change the opacity of it if I wanted by popping into the opacity here, transform opacity, and then I can make that, see, like this. I can make it like 50%, I think is what I did. It was a 50% dark blue layer. This is a dark grey layer. And I noticed I didn't quite do the masking well there, but never mind. And then what I would do is I would export, add it to the render queue here. Let's just do it now. Hopefully it won't take too long. Actually, let's make it a very short composition. Otherwise, we're going to be rendering forever here. Let's make it a composition of 2 seconds. A 2-second countdown. There we go. All right, so the masking is not perfect, but this is just to show you what I did. So you'd go to File, and then you would export, add it to the render queue. Let's delete that initial one. Save it somewhere nice. Yeah, downloads will do. Countdown1.mov is good with me. Lossless. And then render settings. You've got best settings, obviously, you want. Lossless here is good. But then you see you've got lossless with alpha as an option here in After Effects. So you just click that, and then it's going to keep all your opacity settings, which are fantastic. Let's try rendering that. Oh, it didn't take long at all. Look at that. Oh, did you hear that? Did you hear the little render tring? Tring? I love that tring. Usually when I'm using After Effects, it takes 4 hours, and 4 hours later, I'll hear that tring. Anyway, it's just after past, so halfway through the show. Let's get back to those comments. I'm going to mention any comments now, so if you want to get shouted out, leave a comment right now in the live chat box. Who have we got here before we hop back to Premiere Pro? Just scrolling back now to have a look. Yeah, Don LeBlanc wants to see a session on YouTube trailers, so I'll definitely cover that, and particularly how I put my latest trailer together, which I just published yesterday on the YouTube channel. I'll let you know about that soon. We've got sunny vibes from Prague in the Czech Republic. We've got Joycean saying, thanks for the inspiration. You guys are inspiration. Thanks for the work ethic, attitude, website, and products. That's really lovely. Thank you very much. You can buy video countdowns from fiverr.com, says Dance FM Live. Yeah, there are places like that. I've also used, what's the name of the site? Videohive.net, I find to be a little higher on the quality side. Patrick Keller is in. Hey, good morning to you. A little bit late, but that's okay. Kyron's in, saw the intro yesterday for the first time and was blown away by a cool pre-show, how cool a pre-show could be. Then today you're showing me how to make one. Totally doing this later for my channel. Love it. Hey, yeah, absolutely, Kyron. I can tell you it's just brilliant, and I cannot endorse live streaming enough. I'm just loving doing this with you guys now, and the fact that you show up every day and choose to dedicate a bit of your time from your day to watching this is just amazing, and the countdowns do make it easier. I'm French. How are you on Periscope? Very nice. I'm doing very well. Bonjour. What else have we got? Cato saying in Premiere Pro, if you create a cue point at 1 minute and export audio to edit in AA, will it overwrite the original audio track when you send the edited audio back, or will it be a new layer? Oh, I'll show you that in a minute, because yeah, there's really cool things you can do with dynamic link. We got Cruel Regan saying hey. 5 or 6 great tips for Premiere Pro CC. Thank you, says Don. Hello, Mike and Isabella. DJ Transit 31. Thank you for the lovely comment you left yesterday, DJ Transit, by the way. And finally, for the moment, Hards Tyler's. What specifications do you have on your computer? It's an iMac late 2016 5K that I'm using right now. Hello on Twitch, by the way. If you're watching on Twitch, it's nice to get some viewers on Twitch from time to time. Relatively new platform for us. Right, let's get back into it, and I'll show you what I'm up to here. So now I rendered that out. If I just remove a little bit of that countdown here, so you'll see here I've actually got some particles in the background here, sparkly particles that I just downloaded from a royalty-free site. Now let's bring in this countdown here and drop it in, and you'll see obviously the render wasn't perfect because the countdown needs to be a bit better, but because I rendered it with alpha, it now appears transparently over anything I choose to place it on. So something else over here, and you can see again transparently over there. So that's exactly how I did it with the countdown here. It's got a transparent layer, and if I turn it off completely, you can actually see all the video clips that I put in the background. So let's watch how that works. Oh, and by the way, if I get rid of this on video track 1, is actually I did a screen flow of Adobe Audition playing the jingle that I made in real time. And you'll wonder maybe how I panned around inside Adobe Audition. What I did was I went into effects and I drew on some rather cool, you can see them all here, really, really cool video effects on the scale, the position, that kind of stuff. I told it how to move around. So you see how it pans all over Audition like this. These are automations here. And then zooming in. Let's see if I can mimic something like that, just to show you how that kind of thing is done. So if you ever take a screen flow of what you're using and you want to kind of pan around like you've almost got a camera on the screen, this is perfect for it. First, I'm going to switch these off and I'm going to lose all my keyframes. So I'm going to kind of start from scratch. Now these are the timer icons here by position and scale on the video effects, on the effects controls for this particular video track. If I switch those back on, I can then go in and I can place keyframes wherever I want. So as you'll see, hang on, I'm going to mute out the audio for a second. You'll see now that that's not panning around. But if I place in a keyframe, and you do that by clicking Add or Remove Keyframe here, so I'll do that right there, and then I can move it around. I also want to be placing a keyframe here, and I want to kind of zoom in. So I did something like that. You can also use this kind of like that, drag it up and down to get a kind of zoom you want, and then over here pop this down and you can see what you're doing over here. So I could do something like that, and I can move these around like that and really kind of drag to wherever I want. So I get a kind of automation like this. Kind of looks like that, and it kind of moves, and then it moves across like that. So really I was just playing with automations on this, and it's just how many keyframes do you want to put in. You can put another keyframe here, another keyframe over here, and then you can start zooming out again, and then over on this keyframe I can move it up a bit like that. So eventually you get something that starts to look a little bit like this on your screen flow that you've taken, and then whoa, it's going to go out, and then it's going to start going up again now, up like that. So you can do all kinds of cool, excellent stuff like that. And so that is my Adobe Audition in the background playing away through the whole of this, which again, then I've got this layer on top, which as I dissolve firstly into Adobe Audition here, and then I cut through all these different, these are just video clips, royalty-free video clips that I've downloaded and I've popped in. Some of them I've kind of taken the opacity down on. So this, I've got like a bunch of hearts here, and what I did is I went to opacity, I made it 26%. If I make it 100%, this was the original clip right here. Oh yes, because I'm keyframing it. Don't keyframe. Go away, keyframes. I didn't want that. Keyframes off, 100%. And then you'll see this was the original clip I had here. loads of lovely hearts. But then I made the opacity 26%, so I was giving love to Adobe Audition like this, as you can see. And then more royalty-free clips playing above me. These are just pasted in, just wonderful, wonderful clips. Again, you can get them from places like Video Hive. There's another site called Video Blocks. I think just search royalty-free video, really, to find. You can find all kinds of stuff for your niche if you're making, or niche, if you're making a countdown. But I thought these were really good quality clips and relevant to the audience that are tuning in to this channel. And then that's the MRC intro and outro logo. So what did I do with this? Before we get into audio for the last 15-20 minutes, I just wanted to show you how precisely I was pasting this. I was pasting these clips not just in any random order, but on the beat, as you'll notice. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 1, 2. Trying to make the clips match. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And it kind of stops, and then OBS, I've got a cool setting on OBS where you can say switch off video when it ends. So then when that logo ends, it kind of clicks and then I'm on. So yeah, whatever I'm doing, whether I'm making my cup of tea or whatever, the camera just flips on and then I am live to all of you lovely people watching right now. So that's how it works. Yeah, just to show you, actually, I don't know if I can drag OBS in here, and you're going to get that weird effect where it kind of goes into infinity screen. But I'm in screen share mode at the moment. In intro, I'm just going to change to intro here. So that is where the countdown is. It's an MP4 file. Let's switch that off though. And it just plays away until the ending. And it's a perfect way for me to get hyped up and get ready for the show. Mentioning more of your comments in a moment, by the way, so do keep them coming in. Get to the comments in 4 minutes from now. So if you've got any questions so far, let me know. How did I do that beat matching with the clips? Well, it's fairly straightforward. First of all, I went into this track to make a track bigger. You just use the scroll wheel up and down here on audio, so you can really see. And yeah, you can do all kinds of things with audio, like editing in Audition, and I'll show you that very soon, how to do that. But yeah, having the waveform in Premiere Pro directly is very handy, because as you can see, I can see the beats that I'm trying to place. So there's a beat there, another beat, and I can see all the beats that I wanted to make the edits on with all of those various clips. And then obviously the crossfade into the intro at the end. Over here, what I've done is I've just faded that down because there's a bit of a longer decay than I would have liked. So again, to do that in Premiere Pro, we're going to do a deep dive, by the way, next week on the live stream into Essential Sound for Premiere Pro, which is really fantastic new feature. Actually, it's just underneath the chat. So hang on, I'm just going to take the chat off for a second. There it is. Can you see it? It's just up there. That's where the Essential Sound panel is. We'll go into that in more depth though next week, like I say. Back into the editing view now, and yeah, so just basically keyframing the level here, popping on a keyframe, and then just like Audition, you can drag levels down like that to make a nice fade out at the end of the audio. Now, let's hop over into Audition. I hope that I've nicely covered everything that you would like to know with regards to After Effects and Premiere Pro. We spent a good time on video for YouTube Live intros and outros so far, but I did want to dedicate a bit of my stream to audio, of course, today, because that's what I love. First of all, why don't we take a look at some of those chats that are coming in right now over on Facebook Live, on Periscope, and on Twitch as well. Nice to have you watching on Twitch. So who have we got here? We have got, let's scroll up a little bit. Where are we now? Let's see. DJ Transit's watching from South Africa. Lumpy TV wants some auto-tune. Sub Me from Randomixia. Benedict, what headphones or brand can you recommend for a budget of 150 euros? 150 euros, I'll tell you exactly what I recommend for exactly that price. I would go for something like the these. Hang on, let me go onto the big screen here. That is what I would go for. I would go for the DT770 Pros, the 80 ohm edition. That's the edition I use, Benedict. And actually, if I just look them up now on Amazon UK, let's have a look, see how much they cost. Currently on Amazon for, £107 currently, British pounds. So I'm guessing, let's have a look actually at Amazon.fr, and we'll find out what they are in euros at the moment. DT770 Pro. Yeah, so perfect. In Europe, they're retailing at between 133 and 146 euros. So that's perfectly within in your budget. Some of the best headphones, and you'll see them in a lot of radio stations, a lot of producers using them as well. I love my DTs. I've been using Bayer Dynamics for years, since I was working in radio, and they just absolutely rock. Even happened to notice, as an audiophile as I am, I was watching one of the tribute video, what was the tribute video to the terrible fire in London, in that tower block, and all of the artists, all of the musicians were wearing these DT770 Pros. So yeah, highly recommended. Some of the best singers in the world use them, and they're in a reasonable budget too. Diego, I have to watch the playback. Yeah, absolutely, playback is always good. Can I show you how I swish from intro to go live? Oh yeah, I'll show you that in OBS. That's a very good point. Let's have a look. So in OBS, what I've got here is, let's go into intro and switch that off. And what I do is I set these up. So if I go into properties in OBS, you'll see here, this is the local file, and I've linked to it here. And I've got it ticked to restart when the source becomes active. So when I tick the eye icon, that means the countdown's going to start. And then here, very important, just tick hide source when playback ends on your OBS Studio, your free and open source OBS Studio. And then the moment that video ends, it's going to cut to you. I'll give you an example. This modern retro thing that I used yesterday for my 60s is only a short loop. So if I switch it off loop, I'll show you. Just tick the eye and it's going to go to the retro flowers like that. And then when this video ends, it should only last for up to about 30 seconds. You'll see that it clicks off. And obviously if I drag that up, if I make that above me, then it will block me out. I'll show you. If I pop that, oh, it's just finished. So let's switch it off and back on. There you go. Now it's blocking me out. But the moment that video finishes, or the loop of that video finishes, it'll click straight back into me from OBS. Hawkview Productions, what would you rate the Behringer XM8 8500s? Never played with it. See, it just ended there. So that's how that works in OBS. Joe Salam is there, and he's saying, I was making a slideshow in Premiere last night and was looking for a free way to match the images with the beat. I could do it with my ears, but was looking for a faster way. Got something for that? Yes, potentially. Let's have a look and go back in to Premiere Pro. So I'm going to render out this audio into my multi-track of Adobe Audition. Into the waveform view, actually. Edit clip in Adobe Audition. Should take this over to Audition now. And what I can do, once that has rendered it out, we'll be able to have a little play. Should be good fun. Hi to John Daniel on Periscope. Thanks for tuning in over there. Okay, that's over on Audition. Now, what I think you can do, I'm not sure if this is from rendering a single clip or whether you need to do it in the whole thing. Let's go to my music here. Here it is. Here are the beats. So obviously we know how to find and isolate beats in Audition. We've done this kind of stuff before. It should be second nature to you guys now. So there's a beat. Now, if I place a marker in Audition, okay, so there are just a few markers. Let me just make sure they're nice and accurate. And then the marker there, just tighten it up onto the beat. So Audition, you just cannot get better than Audition for finding beats and analyzing waves. I mean, there is, as you can see, a basic waveform display in Premiere Pro, but it's nowhere near as good as the granularity of Audition. And now I think if we save that, like so, and go back to Premiere. Yeah, there you go. The markers do appear in Premiere. That's the beauty of Dynamic Link. Let me zoom in and make that nice and big for you. Can you see the markers that I placed inside Audition are now right here inside Premiere Pro? So I just found the beats in Audition. As you can see, like, you could try and find the beats in Premiere Pro. It's possible, but if you've got a super audio editor like Audition in your arsenal, then why not fine tune and really find out where those changes are. So as you can see, I could isolate a beat there. And as you can see, that's where my marker is right there. So actually I could make that a little tighter. I could do it like that, and that should change bang on the beat. Yeah, and it did. That's fantastic. So actually I was like one frame out there in my placement. Nobody noticed, did they? But yeah, there you go. By the way, getting back to the chats in about 6 or 7 minutes from now. So keep them coming in at youtube.com/musicradiocreative, which, by the way, is always my main hub. Even though we do simulcast this all over the place, YouTube will always be my main hub. That's where I'd like you to subscribe, please, if you haven't done so already. youtube.com/musicradiocreative. And now it's just a point to let you know, if you wanted to get the presets I use in the multi-track of Adobe Audition every day, when I start a new session, you get all of these lovely presets lined up: processed voice, EQ, chorus, echo, flanger, auto ducking of music, sound effects, voice effects, and more to make the perfect audio production. Go to mrc.fm/presets. Do it before this coming Monday if you're listening within a short time of this episode being released, Monday the 10th of July 2017. After that date, the price will go up and these bonuses will disappear. 7 sample voiceovers, 5 sample sound effects, 1 sample music bed, and an extra bonus video tutorial in addition to the 12 other tutorials that I give you to tell you exactly how to use my presets to make your audio sound great, and the one Adobe Audition CC .sesx file, which is guaranteed to work with Adobe Audition CC. May work with 5.5 and 6, but I can't guarantee it. Definitely won't work before that, because version 3 and before, they were all dealing in .ses files, and I haven't done the conversion. Yeah, so head over there, mrc.fm/presets. You've got a short amount of time to get in and grab those before the price goes up and the bonuses disappear this coming Monday, the 10th of July 2017. Now, so you can see how I can send stuff over to Adobe Audition easily by right-clicking the audio and edit clip in Adobe Audition. If I had multiple tracks, and I'll show you this because I think it's a good thing to know if you don't know it. If I have multiple tracks here, say I had an audio track here and maybe a voiceover here and a sound effect here. Well, I do. I actually have a sound effect there on track 3. I can actually send the whole shebang over to Adobe Audition and edit it in the multi-track. So we go to, and even if you just got one track, it's quite good to do that. What I want to do is go into, let's see, where is it? Sequence, and we are What are we doing here? I've had a mind blank. Ah, yes, it's in the edit menu. Edit in Adobe Audition, sequence, and then that will, the entire audio to the sequence and the video will port over to Adobe Audition. Just click OK to that. Default should be OK. And there we go. Now we have a multi-track of everything we were working on with the markers retained here in Adobe Audition. So absolutely amazing. Which is really, really nice. Right, let's see what we've got right here. We have got this right here. Yep. And now I could make edits. I could change this effect. I can make it louder. I can put on all the presets that you're used to seeing me use in Adobe Audition. But before I end, I wanted to create a new audio file. A new multi-track session, actually. Let's use the default template for this. And I wanted to drag in some of the stems to my audio jingle and show you how I was messing this about. So there is my audio, and then I maxed it up to 60 seconds by doing something like this. Let's move this over here, duplicate, copy here. And we've got a logo in there, so let's delete that logo from this bit, not the whole thing, some of it. That's beat one there, so I just wanted to make a nice edit here. Obviously, I'm doing this on the fly. I would do it far more accurately if I was working myself. Actually, I'm going to group those together. Can I group those together? That'd be nice. Grouping clips are always good because then you move them all together at once. And I can do like a kind of crossfade here to make this into a 60-second bed. Okay, that's a very rough edit, but we're just about on there. So I think what I actually did, I think I lost the piano. So rough edit, obviously not as good as I did it in the final product, but you can see how you can do all of that, and then you can mix it down, mix down the entire session here, and then bring it over into Premiere Pro by saving it. So I could save this now onto my downloads folder and call this Mix Out into Downloads, over to Premiere Pro, and there we go. You can just whack that in to whichever point I want it, maybe around here, and start editing the videos to match up with that audio. Loads of other cool stuff you can do in Audition, like the drone I used. Again, I created this in the multi-track by going to Media Browser, and I used something like, let's see, something like, not that. You could use something like that, and then I looped that around a little bit like so. So it looped for 5 minutes or 30 minutes, however long I needed, and then I grabbed a riser and then just to get into the countdown, I did something like this. I placed a riser in. Need to get the levels right because the levels are not going to be too good on this so far. And I think I got rid of the initial sound effect here, so. Actually, I think what it was I lost the drums. So that can all be done fairly straightforward, in a very straightforward way. And then, yeah, there's all kinds of stuff you can do in Adobe Audition. That's just about coming to the end of my session. Thank you so much for all the comments. Sorry if I didn't manage to get round to your comment in this particular live stream, but I will be back tomorrow, and I'm here every weekday, Monday to Friday from 2 p.m. UK time, whatever that is in your time zone. Make sure to subscribe at youtube.com/music radio creative, and I will see you on the next stream. On the very next stream, we're going to be talking about creating Star Wars style effects and jingles. It's going to be extremely fun. I greatly appreciate you, and thank you for showing up today.